And what's your name?
My name is Alyson Kennedy. I'm the Socialist Workers Party candidate for President of the United States.
And how would you describe the state of women's access to abortion in the United States right now?
Well, I think the state to access to abortion is almost non existent in the United States. The majority of counties in this country have no providers that perform abortion for women. It's very, very difficult for women to obtain abortion. And when you decide to go someplace else, which usually is out of state, many miles from your home, you're subjected to all kinds of questioning. Many states have the 2-day waiting period. Not only do you have to pay for a very costly abortion, you have to pay hotel, etc., transportation costs. So it's virtually non-existent, especially for working class women. That is what exists in this country. I believe that a woman's right to choose abortion is a fundamental right. I think without it, we have no equal protection under the law, which is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
And how do you think women and men, how do you think people in the United States got to this position?
Well, I think part of it has to do with the way the original Supreme Court decision was written in 1973. The decision was not connected to the 14th Amendment. And because of that, the U.S. government and other forces in this society that oppose women's rights were able to erode this decision using medical things, and because it wasn't linked to equal protection, it made it easier for them to erode the law to the point today where, as I said, most counties don't even have clinics or hospitals to perform abortion. I think another big reason why we're in this situation today is the traditional organizations that are formed around fighting for women's rights have abandoned this fight. They put a lot of effort into getting Democratic Party politicians elected that do nothing to protect women's rights. And the only way we're going to change this situation is if we have a national campaign for abortion rights in this country that is not connected to electing some capitalist politician to office or getting women into powerful positions in this country. This has got to be a campaign for the working people in this country that are being assaulted by a very deep economic crisis. That's why I believe that we can gain a lot of support for this fight. The majority of working people in this country support a woman's right to choose because they see how deeply connected it is to a woman's ability to have equality in this country.
So there's a campaign right now called Vote Pro-Choice where supporters of abortion access are pledging to only vote for candidates at all levels of government who are pro-choice. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think that gets us anywhere because I believe that if you look at the history of the United States, the big conquests that have been won by working people, for example, the civil rights struggles in the 50s and 60s that won the right to vote, that got rid of legal segregation in this country. The 1930s, the struggles of working people at that time to get industrial unions organized, to get Social Security, to win unemployment insurance. If you go back even as far as the Civil War that eradicated slavery, those things were won not by voting, but by working people going into the streets and building proletarian movements. And that's what we need today. We need to realize our own worth and begin to organize much bigger struggles for working people, for abortion rights, to gain stronger and more unions. Only 7% of working people in this country work in workplaces that even have a union. That shows you how far back we've been pushed. But I believe today working people are very angry about what's going on in this society. And that's why I believe that women, if we begin to realize this, we could form a very powerful movement to fight for abortion rights. For example, on Monday, the Supreme Court is going to be taking up this law that was passed in Texas that, if upheld, is going to close 9 out of 10 abortion clinics. The 10 abortion clinics that are left in Texas, most of them are going to be closed. And I heard this today. We should be in the streets in Washington, D.C., in front of the Supreme Court, demanding that they overrule this law, which is just another example of the erosion that's taken place against a woman's right to choose. I think eventually, as we build stronger working class struggles in this country, we need to build a strong workers' movement that can eventually take political power in this country as we gain more confidence and see that we have the ability to run this society and completely change how things are organized in this society and create a society that's based on fulfilling people's human needs and not based on upholding a profit system and the profits of a tiny minority. And that's what the Socialist Workers Party is all about doing, which is my party. We have a weekly newspaper called The Militant, which is the newspaper of the Socialist Workers Party. And I've been campaigning all over the country, doing a lot of door-to-door work in working class neighborhoods, and I'm finding that working people are very attracted to this kind of perspective.